Hey everybody, Luxinda Swirl here. Welcome back to my Paper and Other Obsessions channel. We are going to be testing out a new line of products. I've heard the brand name before. It's Pebeo. They make a lot of different paint products, and I've never tried any of them. So we're going to try a few today because they apparently have interesting properties, and I'd like to test them out. I have these things here that we're going to put the paints on. We have two plain old, I think they're 4x4 tiles from Home Depot. They're like 4 cents each. They may be more now. I bought these pre-pandemic when things were a little cheaper. We have some necklace findings. I believe that's what they're called, or bezels maybe. I've used these in other videos in the past with some acrylic paint pouring leftover skins to make pendants, except we're going to be using these paints in these. And I also have a silicone mold because I want to try making a resin coaster with some of these things as well. These are relief paints. My understanding is they're mostly used with stained glass painting. I didn't get any of those. I just was interested in these because you can create outlines with them that have a structure. They actually stick up a bit. They produce a little wall. We're gonna make ourselves some different colored little walls on these three things, and we're gonna use these. And these were the paints I was initially most excited to try, and then I realized I could sort of combine all three things. These are their Fantasy Series paints. One is called Prisme, one is called the Moon, and apparently they create magical things when you use them on things. So yeah, that's about as much as I know. So we're just going to play. In order for the magic to happen, my understanding is these need to be applied rather thickly. So that's why we need little walls on something this big to apply these thickly. So now that I've confused everybody, including myself, let's just get going. We have our Discovery set of Prisme paints. These are our colors: Onyx, Eggshell White, English Red, Pearl Violin, Emerald, and this one is Antique Gold. And now we will take out the Moon Fantasy paints. Veil of Smoke, Turquoise, Apricot, Carmine, Metal Blue, and Gold. Okay, so as I've said, the key here seems to be a thick application of the paints, and I gather you get even more interesting results if you use more than one paint at a time. So dropping, say, 2 or 3 colors in here and then swirling them and then seeing what happens. Shake these up really, really good, apparently. All right, here we go. Now that was a moon. This is going to be the Prisme Gold. You are allowed to mix streams. In fact, you can mix these with, I guess, some of their other paint lines as well. I don't know much about that because I haven't used Pebeo paints before. Whoop. Now, we need to do the walls of these, and this is going to be tricky. So this is where we're going to use the outline or relief paint. We have pewter, gold, pearl, turquoise, emerald, black, lazuli, lapis lazuli, pepper red, paprika, and sun yellow. All right, my understanding is if you just kind of make a squiggly line, instead of trying to be a straight line, you actually end up in a better place. So we'll make some squiggly lines. Okay, executive decision. I'm not going to do 2 of these. I'm going to do 1. I need 1 more cross line there. All right, so there we have created 8 sections for ourselves to use the Moon and Prisme fantasy paints in once this dries. And now we're going to section off a little bit of my faceted heart coaster with the 4 colors that are left here. All right, we are going to put these aside. Stay tuned to see what happens next. Okay, these have dried. And they've stayed a bit raised. Hopefully they will contain some paints. We're gonna try. We're gonna see what happens. This is the Moon series over here, and this is the Prisme series over here. Okay, so we're gonna start with Veil of Smoke. Okay, now while these are all overflowing into each other's spaces, we're going to move this aside. Whoop. Carefully, very carefully, because it's already overflowing. Wow, I'm really losing my heart, aren't I? It's it's interesting. One color left. Let's see how much of a mess we can make with the red. That took a bit of a turn, but I actually don't hate it. I'm curious how it's going to dry. So let's make sure we get good close-ups of both of these so you can see how they look now. I'll do a side-by-side after they've dried. And yeah, we'll see how it all turns out. So stay tuned. Okay, I wanted to bring you guys back. It's been a couple hours, actually probably more like 3 or 4 hours since I did these. This one is pretty much okay, not that different from where we left it. This one, however, I mean, look at that. It's like the entire center is kind of hollowed out. And I don't know where that paint went because this is still all the green and white out here. Yeah, this is weird looking. These are the Prisme paints. I don't know if that shows up on camera or not. I'll try and tilt this. Maybe you can see it. It's just really, really weird looking, but it's kind of cool looking too. So I guess I'm going to wait until this entire thing dries and then we'll see what we have. But I wanted you to see what was going on just a few hours after we concocted this whole thing. And we're back. Okay, it's the next day from when we did these two things. In the meantime, I decided against using UV resin to dome these pieces because I remembered that these backings or bezels or findings or whatever the heck they're called come with their own matching, already sized glass cabochons that, when you place them on top, basically look like they've been domed with resin. So I went ahead and put some of these cabs into our rectangular backings, and also some of these cabs into the two round pendants. So I will give you very detailed close-ups, I promise, at the very end. I just wanted to show you where we are right now. So these have dried. I do want to put resin in here because I think this will be fascinating. I am testing out a new resin right now over on the Tumblr channel, and I'm also going to try it here. So I'm going to mix up enough. This takes about, it's either 2 ounces or 4. I have it written down somewhere. So whatever it is, I'll mix up that much resin and I will pour it in. I'm not going to add anything to it. It'll just be clear resin. And then we'll come back, we'll demold it. We'll look at everything real close with better camera angle so you can really see what's going on here because there has been some fascinating results to all of these. Stay tuned.